Hey, so when you have a great idea, what's the first thing you do? You brainstorm, you create something, and the next thing you want to do is get it out to the world. But to have a successful and amazing launch, there are some things they have to do first. And so today I'm going to offer this masterclass on what are the three things you have to do before you even start your launch strategy to make this a killer launch and to really impact lives with what you are offering. So, I am Jennifer Elliott. If you don't know, I am a funnel and launch strategist, and I work with 6 and 7 figure business owners to help them plan launches that not only change their business, but change other people's lives. There's so many marketers out there. There's so many theories or hacks or tricks. I don't really subscribe to any of them. What I use is solid marketing that's based in what works, what will always work, no matter what's going on with algorithms. But also really a good holistic look at how you do things. Because you could learn the latest hack to do something or get something going really fast. But to have sustained growth, you have to have certain things in place. And you have to know how marketing actually works, not just trying to outrun the system. So I'm glad to have you here today. And please be sure to drop in the comments where you're watching from. If you're catching this on the replay, please replay. I am doing this through StreamYard, so if you look in the post where you see this, there's some place where you can accept permissions for your name and your comment to be published on StreamYard. And that helps me because it's going to multiple platforms and I can't actually see any of them at this time. So if you have a question or a comment, please just put it in that. Make sure to give StreamYard permission and put it there, and I will be sure to address it. If you stay till the end, I do have 2 free gifts for you to help you in this process and to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. Because nobody just needs more things to do. Nobody needs another theory to chase or another new marketing scheme to invest in. What they need is solid advice. And so if you stay till the end, that's what I have for you. So if you have a new product, or perhaps you have a product you've been working on, but you want to get it out there, you revamped it, maybe you haven't launched in a while, and you want to push it out there. Here are the 3 things that you need to do before you even get into the pre-launch stage, before you even get into planning your strategy, because this is essential to your growth. The first one is to truly, truly understand your ideal client and what they need and what they're looking for. Now, I guarantee that if you are an expert in your field, and if you are, if you're watching this, I know that you are, that you know exactly what your ideal client needs. You have it down pat. You have a method, you have a solution, and you know how to fix this for them. The problem is that when we are an expert and we understand everything so well, we miss those first few steps. We don't understand that before they can get our solution, they need to get to a point to accept it and to be ready for it. And so those people who are following you, who are looking for the solution, they have false beliefs. And those false beliefs really are what's keeping them from taking that next step. And usually they are things that they tell themselves to make it that they don't have to worry about fixing this problem, or that they tell themselves that they don't have to acknowledge what the problem is. Those false beliefs are keeping them stuck in there. And so it doesn't matter how amazing your product is. It doesn't matter how many videos or workbooks or how many hours you're going to spend with them in a group setting. None of that matters because they can't see past where they are. And they need to overcome those false beliefs to be able to buy into what you're offering so that they can solve the problem. Now, along with false beliefs, there are objections. And the objections all boil down to just relatively a few things. However, objections will also keep them from saying yes, even when they want to. And these need to be addressed. It's not a hard sell. It's not pushing people into a program. Everyone will have some sort of objection, and there's some sales coach that will tell you, well, they have an objection and you need to just kind of plow through it and keep moving. You need to just get them to say yes. And while them saying yes is what builds your business, that isn't how true nurturing and building something that's going to last for longevity works. Because you want to nurture them even if they're not ready to say yes, even if they can't say yes or don't want to say yes. Because that person 2 weeks, 3 months, 2 years down the road could become your perfect client, and then they're ready to say yes. And now you have that investment. When you strong arm people into saying yes, it's easier for them to just say no and run the other direction and demand their money back or never follow you again and tell everyone not to do the same. The third thing you really need to understand is what is that one pain point that will make your people take action. They have several pain points, and I can tell you that all of them come down to they're stressed, they're tired, they're frustrated, they want something to change. Okay, everybody's there. Doesn't matter what you're selling, from a vacuum cleaner to a coaching program, everybody's there. Okay, that describes anyone who's dealing with a problem. But what's that one pain point? What's that one possibility? Like if we remove this out of the way and made this a new possibility and opportunity, that they would say, why wouldn't I say yes? It's just like a no-brainer, right? Whatever I'm paying for this program doesn't matter, because moving that out of the way and getting these possibilities is priceless. So understanding your ideal client, not just who they are, your typical avatar, who they are, where they hang out, how old they are, that is important, but really understanding what's going on in their head and their heart is what's going to make the difference. So before you even start to plan things out, you need to take a deep dive in that and understand that, because speaking to that ideal client in a meaningful way will change everything. They're waiting for someone to speak to them about that, and you can be that person. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that you need to understand how people will consume what you're putting out there. Now, this especially applies to digital products. If you're selling a vacuum cleaner, everybody's going to kind of use it in the same way. However, what works for that ideal client with those false beliefs, with those objections, with those pain points, with where they are in their life and their business, what works for them to consume what you're putting out there between the launch, the pre-launch, the actual product? Is it sitting through a 2-hour webinar? Is it watching on-demand movies? Would they rather listen to a podcast? These are the types of things that, knowing not just the wants and desires of your ideal client, but their learning styles and how they proficiently can consume client content and how they want to show up, can change things. Because you can plan a picture perfect launch, but if it isn't where your client is comfortable showing up, or it isn't what aligns with their schedule and their demands and where they are in life and business, then they're not going to show up. And it has nothing to do with how you're delivering it. It has nothing to do with the quality of your information. It really has to do with how they can show up for you. So keep that in mind. Before you plan it out, do some testing, take some polls, test out some different types of content and see what they consume the most. That is what will change everything for you. And here's one more thing. This is the third tip of things that you need to do before you even start to plan your launch. Okay, now you have a really dialed in thing about your ideal client, and you know what they need, and you've structured your delivery for the launch and for the product around it. But the last thing that needs to happen is that you need to win their trust. And more than anything, this changes your outcome. People need to trust you. And that doesn't come from you saying, I got this degree, I won this award, showing them all the things that you've done. Those are important, and you need to have that in there somewhere. But the first thing that people think when they see like, oh, my life is so wonderful, I did all these things, is obviously she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. She has all this stuff going on and I don't. So she's never going to be able to help me. Building trust takes building a relationship. It takes talking to your people. It takes showing up like on lives like this. And I can tell you that it's not always perfect. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret that has nothing to do with this, but you can't hear it. But downstairs, my two younger children are having a bit of a disagreement today. It's just not a good sibling day. And one is saying, Mom's doing something important. You can't go in her office. And the other one is saying, why do you have to be so mean? And is this an ideal time for me to be live doing this? No, but I am committed to doing this every Wednesday. I want to show up and help you guys. And I want to make this a great year for everybody. So I'm showing up. And if there's any kind of chaos that erupts at the end of this, I apologize ahead of time. And I promise I will come back and finish it once the chaos dies down. We all have things in our lives that keep us from showing up for other people. It's very easy to say, I'm busy, I'm tired, there's too many things on my calendar, I've got too many interruptions, like my camera isn't great, I'm there, my lighting isn't perfect, I hear you, sister, okay? But being there in a way that you can be on a live, that you can interact with people, that you can have some sort of workshop where they can come and actually talk to you and experience you in real life, that you can give them something that's a quick win, that they can understand that you know what you're talking about and they are grateful that you gave that to them. All of these build trust. And many times we think it's all about the deliverables, right? It's about getting that sideways sales letter, as Jeff Walker likes to say, out on the right days. It's getting the optimal time of our email send. It's making sure that our webinar is at the perfect time on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's getting all those I's dotted and T's crossed and graphics and photography and all the things. And while I can tell you that that makes a difference, it absolutely does. Hands down. You could have all of that together. And if people don't feel like they're connected to you, if they don't feel like they can trust you, if they don't feel like you're approachable and that you are going to be there for them and you are genuinely the real deal, not just the latest person pitching them something that's supposed to make their life amazing, and 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. This really is important. So before you ever plan your launch strategy, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about, where are your people showing up? Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Probably they're on both. Are they in networking groups? Are they in-person show-ups? Is there a combination of those? Do they love to read emails? Would they rather listen to podcasts? How are they connecting with people in their world? Because we have umpteen different ways of doing it right now. And none of them are bad, and none of them are better than others. But what's important is being there for what they need. So, figure out where they are, and then show up. Show up even if it's completely imperfect. Show up even when you don't want to, even when you have a million reasons not to be there. And show up for them. You need to establish your authority. And if you have been wondering why Google isn't ranking you as high as it used to, or your results have shifted from where they were, there's always updates, okay? So that happens. But Google is really, to their credit, looking to find people who are building authority, who are showing that they are the person, that they actually know what they say they know, and that they're trustworthy. And will there always be scammers that can get around that? Yes. But I really believe that in 2024, the people who aren't being genuine, who aren't true coaches or true authorities, the people who are selling things but aren't really worried about that showing up for the other person, they're going to be the ones that fall to the wayside. Those of us who are committed to building those relationships, to building the trust, to showing up no matter what, and being authentic, not just creating more for the sake of more, not just using AI because now you can push out 10 times as much, but really leveraging those tools in the right way that it builds a relationship. Those are the ones who are going to shine. So now that you know where they are, show up genuinely with information, with inspiration, but most importantly, with content that connects to them and helps build that relationship. And continue that relationship by having conversations in the DM, in email. Perhaps you meet up for a 15-minute call at some point. All of that is a possibility, and that's where it is. It's not sending spammy messages and saying we can do these 17 services for you. It's building relationships and giving and taking and offering people help. And when they have a response, like responding to them and not just pushing your own stuff. If you can't serve them, referring them to somebody else. All of these build trust. And your network is important, but it's not important for you. It's important for this trust that it establishes so that you can sell those people when it is the right time. And you can have people that stay with you through it and want to make a difference in your life and in theirs. So they trust you and follow you and stick with you, even if right now isn't the time. So thank you for being here today. I'm going to need to exit stage left very soon to take care of a couple of things. But I promise that if you stayed to the end, I had 2 things for you. So the first is for everybody, because this will make a huge difference for you in getting this organized and really getting your message out there and setting yourself up with the 3 things that we talked about of understanding your ideal client, understanding how they consume things and making things optimized for that, and also building trust with them. Please comment below ideal client, and I will get you a special resource to help you to start planning that and building things so that you can build that trust and that relationship before you plan your launch. The second thing may not be for everyone, but I want to offer it to you as an opportunity for you to really dive deep into what are the steps I need to take for this launch and what's going to make it super successful. I'm offering a free 15-minute funnel strategy deep dive to really look at what you have, where you want to be, and what are those 3 key things that you could be doing right now to make sure that your funnel is set up for success going forward. So if you're interested in that, drop in the comments funnel strategy and I will follow up with you. This is just a quick meetup for me to get to help you and get to know you. And I will see you again very soon. Thank you for being here. Please leave any comments or questions. I will follow up with them wherever you are watching. And I go live every Wednesday with a deep dive training to help you further your launch and your funnel strategies that you can scale easily and become an authority in your space.